Before we get into this, we want to fill you in with something. The word meta in this video is used in a few ways, such as to explain greed, playstyles that are preferred by the current tournament winner, build that will focus on economy at the expense of aggression, shooting straight for tier 3, and such. Let's go! Hey guys, Knight here. Today I have a new build for you guys. The perfect opening for Protoss. This build is basically the opposite of the meta. I would even go as far as to say it is a meta killer. I have never seen this done before. Well, minus when I first started playing the game and everyone looked at me and or laughed. Basically, I threw it away because of peer pressure. These peers were already influenced by the meta. The meta at the start of his StarCraft life ruined him and his variation of how to play the game. The same is true for you. Before and after that, I have never seen it done before. This excludes the times I've seen it where it was designed for all-in use, like proxy buildings and such. This is not an all-in, and this is not a cheese. People have degraded aggression for far too long. They have alienated it, and it is now deemed a cheese because of it. We would like you to note, people who blindly agree with the meta are the ones who make these claims. He aims to fix this and shut down the meta with one swing of his massive, giant, hot, throbbing, wait, what is he having me say right now? We'll just say he's good. We'll leave it at that. Damn. In my scenario, I went back to my roots. I found my old strategy again. This time, I chased the idea despite what others told me and perfected it. This perfection I mentioned is not done in this video, but I have done a lot since. I chose this video because the Zerg reacted perfectly. And what he means by that is that he played exactly according to the meta. At least compared to some top players. The difference is he can't think for himself. He follows the meta and has no understanding of the game. Just like most of you who play this game as well. He plays very well, at least compared to some top players. But because of what I just said, he can't be the best. And that statement is equally true for everyone in the world, not just him. And that is by no fault of his own. Nor yours. It is by fault of the terrible instructors who tell you to just copy and paste. You can't think for yourself at that point. You never learned how to, unlike me. He challenges everything. That is why he does well at this game now. But he used to blindly agree with everyone else, and he did it so that he could learn and get better. That was before he realized they only said to do something because they were blindly agreeing themselves. They were agreeing to a certain style and promoted only that style to the point that other styles were forbidden. An example is naming other build orders that were aggressive, cheese, or all-in. Also, unlike me, I teach you to understand and ask why. They just say, do it. This video was before I had the idea perfected. I chose this video because the guy that I was playing against was actually a perfect candidate. Basically, he played perfectly. Now, the problem was, he is very meta-influenced, as in he can't think for himself. He does what the meta tells him, despite the fact that he's actually good and has good hand-eye coordination, good reaction, good awareness. He has good qualities to go far. The problem is, he cannot think for himself. So I felt that this was a perfect replay to go over to basically illustrate that idea. That idea being that the meta is terrible. With that said, follow me, friends. I will teach you the ropes the right way. Also, I feel terms like all-in and cheeser is bullshit. Watch yourself, fool! My bad. I basically call it excuses because you are greedy and bad at the game and the meta has you by the balls. You can't think for yourself, so you need excuses to lose freely. That's how I look at it anyway. This is a real build. This is a punish build. This is a way to be aggressive and have economy while still denying their economy. This is a build that doesn't wait till a certain time to move out. This is a living, breathing build. This is a build that is designed to kill. This build will also never lose to a cheese or all-in. With this build, you remove these made-up fairy tales of build order losses and luck. These excuses only exist through the meta. The meta is flawed. Get over it. This is also a build that should be a standard for Protoss, at least an opening. I have a video for a Zerb opening. Did you just say Zerb? Dude, stop being a douche. As your kin say, my dang. Thank you. Anyways, that I have yet to see a better version of as well. But this is the Protoss version. One day when I work on Terran, I'll make a Terran version too. I feel that this is the true way to play Protoss. Aggressive, bruiser style. It takes advantage of every aspect of the race. With this build, I can be aggro at the start and all the way through the game. With that said, it forbids people from playing greedy and getting full saturation 5 minutes in, aka stopping the meta cold. hence why I call it the meta killer. One reason why I enjoy my build is because after my initial low-cost, high-damage attack is on its way, I can expand or put more production down. It depends on what I see. The build puts the power into your hands. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It falls completely on you and your skill. The benefit is that it forces your opponent to be good too. No balance issues, no luck, no coin flips, no build order losses, and no excuses. This is the right way to play this game. Also, it proves the meta is flawed. In short, it gives me options while still being aggro. This is a high pressure, high skill level build. If you don't have much micro, this isn't for you. Finally, it is all said. Let's get this on, shall we? In this video, I threw everything I learned about the game through the meta away. What he meant was, he basically threw away the idea of being completely focused on economy. My opening used to be this way once upon a time, like I said. Grr. I am now doing what I used to do again. The reason why I got rid of it being the standard 13 gate opening, is because I was doing the meta opening and I didn't realize it. Meta in this sense being economy focused. This is why I couldn't be aggro. Now that I realized it and I have dropped it and went back to my old roots, I am better than ever. This simple change allowed him to be aggressive again. He thought he could never be aggressive, but it was that opening that screwed him for so long. In fact, you can be aggressive, but not with an econ opening that everyone in the world has been forcing down your throats. As Zerg, he had no meta influence or guidance with his decisions like he did Protoss. He wanted to be good with Toss, so he looked up things. That is where he went wrong. The same error is what you guys are going through now. You don't figure it out on your own, so you never learn to think. You become dependent on the meta, the player's guidance, their decisions and choices. The problem is, that is not the only way to play. You may gain their strength, but you succumb to their weakness as well. You also never expand what you know or could be known. The fact he never got instruction on Zerg and hardly any on Terran is why he does well with them. As days continue and he becomes more like himself, he gets better and better at the game. The problem was that he had a voice in his head telling him everything he did was wrong, or what he did was cheesy and had no honor, so he stayed away from it. The truth is that is not the case. It was what people did and would do with certain builds that made them cheesy. My biggest regret in StarCraft 2 is watching pro gamers and watching Day 9 in Artosis for advice. These are just examples, by the way. They are big names, so he chose them. He means no direct offense to any mentioned. With that said, you are all part of the problem still. He means no offense, but that does not let you off the hook. They literally ruined my StarCraft 2 life. They were all about the meta. Again, meta is stated here as being focused on economy at the cost of aggression, also known as cutting corners. What they don't tell you is that these corners you are cutting are your ability to fight and put up a contest, such as for when they early expand. You give up your ability to stop that from happening. He doesn't play that game. The reason why he was not doing well with Protoss is because these voices in his head turned him away from being aggressive. In fact, the opening that was forced onto him made it impossible. He knew in his heart that getting free expansions should not be part of the game, but he couldn't stop it, and he never understood why. He figured it out and is releasing it for you today. And the meta killed me. It forced me to play one way, and they were the best at that way. Screw that noise. I am bringing my own noise. I am bringing a new noise, and you will hear it. My best advice, play from your own mind and your own mind only. Watch for entertainment and entertainment only. That's it. It is very entertaining to watch them, but to learn from them, don't even think about it. You can also watch my videos as I don't go into broad ideas. He is also without bias for long drawn-out economy-only focused games. He includes every aspect of the race. He is the ultimate teacher because he is without bias and has nothing to gain or lose. My schematics are very short and simple. No complexity, and it leaves you every option available, unlike theirs where there's specific builds from minute 1 to endgame. My way just shows you how to get going and puts the power into your hands. You be the greatness you are. Do not copy the top players because they don't think better than anyone. They just happen to win or get there first. No one is better than anyone, especially if the only thing separating you and them is 8 hours of games a day. It isn't brains at that point. It is muscle memory, which anyone can do in time. Anyone in that light could be the best. It depends on how you do it. And following someone non-stop will always place you in second place, at best. Put your own brain out there and use it. Do not be a meta slug. Do not think they are gods amongst men. To be honest, most of you are better than they are. You just need confidence and to practice more. If they can do it, you can do it too. For the record, I understand what school is, I understand what training is, but the entertainers are not that. End of story. Anyway, this is a Protoss video, and I feel I found the best way to play Protoss. He means as far as openings go anyway, but that should be all you need to get started. I have yet to even get close to losing using this strategy, as the world is either greedy or cheesy, and this build allows me to stop both. If they do happen to play right, which is rare, it is always an epic game where whoever is better in true will win. One final note. There is nothing wrong with the balance in StarCraft 2. If you're having issues, it is your own fault. So, before I get started, the opponent is a Zerg. He is sharp. I sent a unit, and he's seen it and responded instantly. What I mean is, he's seen it on the map running under his Overlord. He panned his map over right away and looked right at it as it ran under his Overlord. So he instantly reacted. So this was a legit match that even high level players would do because he was on top of it. He didn't over respond or under respond. It is perfect for what he is conditioned to do through the meta. The player is decent, so do not throw away the play that happens. In this video I made a few mistakes, but I won't get into that today. I'm going to tell you a few adjustments I make to basically what the standard meta is for the most part. Normally people make a pylon at 9, but I make mine at 8. I place my gateway at 10 as well, instead of the 13. This is important for later. While the gate is going, I try to squeeze in everything I can while having around 100 mils in my bank by the time it finishes. Reason being is because I need to make a zealot as soon as possible. Everything goes pretty standard from there. It all just happens a lot sooner. And you lose a little econ. That is why most pros do not do it. So I start with one zealot. I don't chrono him. I make another zealot which I chrono. I make a stalker right after that, which I also chrono. After the stalker is being chronoed out, I chrono warp tech once. After that, the build is complete. You make up your mind as you play. This build is meant to be aggro early and put pressure while giving you your base tech and income while denying theirs. It also gives you plenty of options of where to go. I'm going to show you what I did in this video to just show you an example of how strong it is and how you can take it anywhere. So forgive me if it is sloppy after this, but it will be live. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. We hope the points were made clear about how the meta is evil. Alright guys, let's get this going. Hey guys, this is Knight here. I just want to let you guys know you should turn your headphones down right now. You have about 10 seconds. Turn them down. This is your only warning. Turn them down. Turn them down. It's getting close. Turn them down. I'm telling you, hurry the fuck up. Pause it. Do something. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Evil! Alright, you can turn it up now. Sorry about my buddy, but I need him, so sorry. Okay, let's go. So I'm top right, he's bottom left, as you guys have seen. Nothing. So 8 is when I stop production. I'll make a pylon right away. It's a little late, but for the most part it's fine. Yeah. Just, everything's standard. I don't really care to micro the workers too much because they like to unpartner themselves sometimes. So here I build the gateway at 10, and then I chrono 2 workers out because you need to get everything you can while you can while the gateway is going up essentially. And that rally point that you've seen was from the gateway, by the way, because basically the idea is just to be very aggressive because everyone's very greedy. So I go into the gas. It was a little early to commit that many into the gas, but for the most part it's fine. I should probably pull one out by now because I just went in so early, but this is pretty early. Or this is an early trial run, I guess you can say. But as I already mentioned before, he's a good Zerg and he played perfectly into the part, so this is a perfect replay to go over. So the first Zealot is complete. I don't chrono him because then it makes the aggression obvious. So now he's going across the map. I chrono the gateway, that's what's called a warp tech, one time, and that's it. And I chrono the next 2 units out, and yeah, I just go from there. I check, I'm attacking, I see what he's doing, and so here, real quick, after the stalker comes out, the build is complete. Okay? So after that, you make up your mind, you take what you've seen, you take your scouting info, and you decide what you're going to do. Okay? And that's it. He will now finish the match for you, just to show you the power of it. So, from what I've seen, personally for me, was that he expanded, he has no units as income yet, and he's making Zerglings. So my idea was to defend, because I can attack, but he's going to have defense. So if I defend, then he's going to have units attacking me, and I will have defense. And that's kind of the idea between the two. If I had seen that he had income, I would have just attacked anyways, because I would have been like, okay, you're being greedy, so I'm just going to go through with my attack. But he chose to defend. So what I did is I defended myself. Okay? Because everything that he makes through workers is drone production that he loses, essentially. So that's kind of the focus of the pressure. So I'm killing off an overlord. My zealots are coming back, and look at the Zerglings right behind them. So I made a good call. I expand, throw 2 pylons down, get my units ready for combat. And this is where the micro kicks in, by the way. Got to control what I can control. And that's where the difference is. Here, I actually wanted to bring up a point real quick. Okay, so I had to bring up the text. For some reason, it closed. Anyways, so the point I wanted to bring up here was, look at the shields. These units have taken damage, yet they're going to recover. And basically, this is what I was getting at when I said I like to play the Protoss like bruisers. It's because they take damage and they're fine. The Zerg will lose units and be fine. That's how the race goes. And we're both playing the race to how they're supposed to be played, essentially. Alright, so here's the little bit I wrote down that I want to read. The shields work for this kind of play. Okay, so a long time ago, Artosis said Terran units are better in small numbers. At the time, I didn't have a brain like you guys. I just nodded and agreed. I learned through my own gameplay, Protoss have stronger small army comp and larger army comp. It is the tactics that give Terran that edge, not army strength. So in other words, like most top streamers and casters and players, he was wrong. If your army loses to his army, you had the wrong composition and you played the matchup wrong. That is the only reason why your army should ever lose. Army versus army, anyway. That, or you have no micro, which in that case, you should demote yourself. Okay, so I wanted to bring that up because a lot of what they told me discouraged me away from certain things. The trades right now was one of them. So when I play against a Terran, I always felt like, what, maybe my units are going to lose, and there's no reason to face a bio army because they're just going to lose. But he was wrong. You have to make the fight your own, basically. Like, Terran have tactics, like they drop here and there, or they split up here, or they overrun you here, or whatever. A Protoss will really set up the battlefield in their favor. They use their technology or whatever, and that's just part of the race. It's your technology. It's the force fields, the guardian shields, the unit variety, what have you. And at the time, I was completely ignorant to that because of what he said. So now that I threw everything that I learned away, I'm actually starting to hold things like this. So anyways, let's get back to the live portion again. So I hold that off without any losses whatsoever. And the goal here is just to keep everything alive. I'm walling off, because I'm just going to go poke. Walling off so nothing just runs through. I see a Zergling, so I get this guy ready. I see it was low, so I was just like, kill it. Get a robo. Sending units down. Getting tech and all that jazz ready. Getting buildings set up. Focusing on my economy yet while still putting pressure. Remember, this is an early game, so my strategies have developed a lot since here, but this is just kind of a rough idea of how well it works. And here's another response coming up. So I see that. So I'm like, that's fine. I got an overlord, or it's going to chill out front. We're going to be aware of what he does, and he can't have too much. He can have a few Zerglings, but he committed a lot already. He's going to want econ. He's going to want econ, yeah. He's going to want economy right now, so chances are he's not going to have many units. So by waiting there a little bit, I'll know. So since nothing has showed up yet, I know I'm safe. He basically has econ and he's building up units right now. But because he has what's called a spine, I can't do much. Here, I seen 2 Zerglings running towards my base, so I go ahead and take care of that, essentially. Just waiting for cooldowns. Oh, I have a unit selected. Sorry. And now I attack. Basically send up a probe as a decoy, and I'm like, alright, I can't break it, because 2 queens, a lot of energy, is just not going to work. Kill what I can, though. Kill what I can, save what I can. A little bit of sacrificing, but it wasn't too terrible. I stopped the scouting from him. I have units coming back home from base, bringing up what I can, still taking care of things. His money's getting high. The reason why is because he doesn't have much he can do because of the pressure. And basically that's the idea behind it. So here comes the attack. Here I have a lot more zealots. A lot of zealot. And I'm trying to control my worker or my stalkers so they just stop firing at the overlords and bringing those in. The mothership dies, so I'm pretty committed for the most part here. Keeping up the attack, keeping up the front, keeping up production, and then he just leaves. And pretty much, like, literally, it's over just like that. And the reason why is because he was playing greedy. Now, he had economy, and he had tech. A little bit. He went Hydra. He's going to go Hydra Zergling, which honestly is actually pretty scary. If you just sit back and wait for them to actually mass up a Hydra army, it's pretty hard to hold, especially early on if you don't have early Colossi. But yeah, that was pretty much it, unfortunately. But that's honestly how a lot of these games go. It's because the pressure is just too much. And people want to call it an all-in or whatever, but here's the problem. I have as much econ that he does, and I have as much tech that he does, yet I was actually smacking him in the face the whole time. That's the only difference. And you gotta micro your units. And I thought I was gonna actually do more microing in this match, but it was over a lot sooner than I thought. I was assuming that I was actually gonna have to pull back the zealots like in other games, where I'd actually pull back a unit here and there, pull this back, force field that, guardian shield this, you know, or focus a few overlords down to deny supply, or to prevent the SCVs from going into the bunkers or repairing them or whatever, you know, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like I said, it's rare when somebody can actually hold this kind of aggression, because they're just used to sitting back all game and getting free reign all the way up to, you know, Ultralisks pretty much. You know, just kind of throwing a unit out there, playing Zergs. I just picked Ultralisk. Tier 3 essentially. You know, and they don't do anything to each other until Tier 3, and I don't like that. So I figured out what the problem was with me, and I was trying to play aggro with an econ opening. So now I actually changed it, so now I have an aggro opening with an aggro econ, basically. And it translates directly into a standard economy. The difference is I have a billion low-cost units at his front door being microed, constantly fighting, you know. Anyways, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a lot. I hope I earned your follow. I hope I explained enough for you guys. Like I said, this guy is not bad, so don't like assume he was terrible or anything. The only reason why he might have looked bad is because he's playing according to the meta. Now, if he was thinking like me, like a lot of you guys might one day, if you follow me, he would actually would have held that and probably masters by now. But anyways, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Take care, and sorry if this took forever, but I feel these are very important. So, you know, enjoy this bit of information, and Terran one day to come. We'll see. Anyways, peace. Au revoir.